Hey Sawyer, do you like the chickpeas? Well, she'll eat them eventually. So, I tend to share a lot, okay? I wear these Erlen lenses, guys, okay? I don't know if you can see through that. The reason I got the IRLEN, the reason I got them is because for a long time there, I couldn't turn my brain off, okay? And I needed help with that. So I did some research and I found out about this Erlen syndrome, and I went and checked it out, got tested, and decided that that color of filter helps my brain. Now, I don't wear those all the time because, I mean, it's pretty, you know, it seems ridiculous, guys, but I'm going to try to wear them more, but I'm not going to wear them for the videos. Anyways, I share a lot, okay? And create, okay? So, my old videos on my old channel, okay, I never backed up any of my videos or anything, but I want to talk about light today, okay? And how important light is, and how everything is magnetized light. And there's one video that survived of me that talks about light, so I'll link that in this description. But everything that I've done for my old channel, I did using paper, pencils, pens, and crayons, okay? So there's just a little sample of, you know, how much stuff, you know, like there's lots here, guys. Like this is a presentation I'm working on. I'm not yet there because I only have 15-minute videos, okay? I can't do more than 15 minutes. I don't know why. I'm like, see this, guys? Like, we're talking, I did lots of stuff, okay? And now I'm trying to condense it. So what I'm trying to condense today is basically Roman numerals. I want to start at the beginning. Let's take it easy, okay? So I believe that Einstein's the shill, okay? He needs revision. E equals mc squared is not what it means in the physics books, okay? When we're talking about light and energy, okay? Energy is light, okay? And I believe that two zeroth dimensional singularities will create a one-dimensional line. So basically you create the nothing, because when you look at that differently, it's the nothing. And one zeroth dimensional singularity with two one-dimensional lines creates a fly speck, which creates the infinite. So the nothing and the infinite. Very important concepts, okay? And you have to understand that light wants to be free. And when you draw a 1 on a page, just as like a line, you have to think that it's trying to be infinite in both directions, okay? So, just, like, these were my old notes, guys, okay? Like, I'm not going to get into this because there's lots of mistakes, okay? Just trying to show you what I'm trying to condense in my brain. Okay, guys, so here's my presentation on Roman numerals. So, I believe that, here we go, that knowledge is a combination of your faith, your discernment, and your experiences in life, okay? Like, your experiences tell you things, like, if you live in Canada and it's cold outside in the winter, you know to dress up and be warm because of your experiences. And if you want your kitchen renovated, but you don't know how to renovate it, and then you contact a bunch of contractors, well, you use your discernment which one you choose and how they're going to renovate your kitchen. You put your faith in them. You're using your discernment. And faith just means your belief in others, okay? Or belief in stories, or belief in things, okay? So whether or not you think it's, you discern it, and whether you think that things are fact or not. So, Roman numerals, how are they created? Why is it the way it is? What are dimensions of unity? Okay, this right here is a term I use a lot, dimensions of unity. Okay, light wants to be free in 360 degrees. So let's say you have a light source coming from a singularity. It's going to emit light in 360 degrees. Once you start to, I used to call it like a magnetron, when you try to magnetize the light, what happens is you eventually create an infinite singularity, going from this zeroth dimensional singularity to an infinite thickness of one-dimensional line, and then once it hits a wall or something, it creates a second zeroth dimensional singularity. Okay, that's what we call cohesive light. Cohesive light is creation. When light is guided to an infinite beam, it creates a second singularity, okay? Now, Fred Woost, I followed him since December of last year because I was looking at things like gematria, okay? I couldn't find anything on it. I found him, and he's still rocking it. He's awesome, okay? Now, Einstein needs revision, okay? E equals mc squared. Energy is equal to magnetism times consciousness squared, okay? Because when you're talking about light or energy, opposites do not attract, okay? Unless you're talking purely about magnetism. When you have two magnets, obviously opposites attract and the magnets attract. But what the Masons do, what the Freemasons do, is they put truth in plain sight and then they call it something else. I don't believe in Copernican physics. I think Newton's a shill because he's also a Freemason. If you want to learn more about Freemasons and about hiding truth in plain sight, go check out Russian vids, okay? I don't agree with everything he says. He calls a lot of my friends shills and stuff, the guys that I use my faith, discernment, and experiences to ascertain that what they're saying is knowledge and credible. But he talks a lot about truth hidden in plain sight, okay? Just look at things from a different point of view. Now again, two zero-dimensional singularities create a one-dimensional line in three-dimensional space, guys. Two likes that are similar yet different create something via consciousness squared because the light is magnetized. Well, how is the light magnetized, Kevin? Well, this is simple, okay? So when you're trying to make cohesive light, when you're taking 360-degree light being free and you're trying to make a beam, you'll eventually make the elliptical, okay? That's the first thing that happens. And what happens when the elliptical closes in on itself? It'll collapse on itself because it'll create a zero-dimensional singularity here. This circle will fold over on this circle to create this, okay? And this is the proper way to write a zero. You don't write a zero like that, that's an O, okay? And look what an 8 is, guys. And if you have a zero-dimensional singularity here, okay? H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. But when you look at 8 differently, from a different point of view, what I see is a one-dimensional line, or 0. But it's if you look at it from a different point of view, it's a one-dimensional line with two finite one-dimensional lines. So basically it creates a cross. And whenever you have two one-dimensional lines intersecting, you create a zero-dimensional singularity. So when the 8 collapses on itself, it gets smaller, okay? And it turns into a 0. It's still infinite, guys. As you can see, like it's infinite. And then when it collapses on itself further, you make your one-dimensional line, okay? So two dots create a one-dimensional line, two zero-dimensional singularities, because a 0 is equal to a 1 when you look at it from a different point of view. Okay, so let's move on here. So the first dimension of unity is a singularity, but if you look at that singularity, okay? If you look at that singularity and you get bigger, it becomes a 0, okay? Your second dimension of unity is created when two singularities, or two zeros, which create a line, a one-dimensional line. Now, because the 0 is equal to 1, those two are special. Those are like your building blocks of everything. 1 is the loneliest number, my ass, guys. So, third dimension of unity is when two lines come together which create a V. Fourth dimension of unity is when two V's come together which create an X. Fifth dimension of unity is when two X's come together which create an L. Sixth dimension of unity is when two L's come together which create a C. Seventh dimension of unity is when two C's come together which create a D. Because a curve, C is the first time you see a curve, okay? And look what a C is, guys. It's just an infinite number of zero-dimensional singularities because they're like infinite one-dimensional lines if you think about it, okay? Coming together. That's what a curve is, you know, on a 2D plane. Seventh dimension of unity is when two C's come together which create a D, okay? I can only make 15-minute videos, so I gotta go fast. Eighth dimension of unity is when two D's come together which create an M. I'm gonna stop at 1,000, guys, okay? So these are them. That's 1D to 8D in Roman numerals. This is what happens, okay? Now, again, a one-dimensional line wants to be free, okay? Like, look, this is a finite one-dimensional line, but this is an infinite one-dimensional line. As you can see, it's contained by a two-dimensional plane, which you're viewing through on your computer, okay? That's why you have to draw the dots here. And what happens when you draw the dots? Those dots are one-dimensional lines. Okay? So, a one-dimensional line depicted as this, which is not infinite, okay, which is not infinite, is actually an 8, H, which is the letter number 8, okay? Which is, again, your cross, okay? Which is your news. which is the Z, which is your hourglass of time, which is 26, which is God. We'll get there eventually. Now, let's see if I can get this. Creation strives for balance, guys. Now, this is how your Roman numerals are created, okay? Now, I didn't look at a textbook for this. I just kind of came up with this. You know, use your discernment, okay? So what happens, these are your letters from Roman numerals. So one's a 1, a V's a 5, guys. A V's a 5. But a V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. But a 22 is a universe, okay? Now, in that universe, there are 2 galaxies, okay? Now, 2 and 2 is 4, but V does not equal 4, because you haven't accounted for the universe, okay? Now, a 4 with a circle around it is equal to a 5, okay? So, again, there's your singularity, which is a 0, which is a singularity. This is this, we know this, okay? So a V is a 5 is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you take out the dots and draw in a circle to contain the infinite one-dimensional lines, you get this, okay? And when you take 2 of these, you get an X, okay? 2 5s is a 10, which is this in a circle, just, okay? Now again, your V and your V, which is the feminine leading the masculine, or the feminine leading the masculine, because what I think happens is when you have 2 V's come together, they're gonna balance, guys. They're striving for balance, so they're gonna both rotate and eventually come together and make that, okay? Now again, for your L, when you have 2 X's, this is the L in the circle, when you have 2 X's, what's gonna happen is I think they're gonna strive for balance, so one's gonna narrow up, the other one's gonna narrow up, and it's eventually gonna make an L, guys, okay? And the same thing for the 2 L's. When you have 2 L's, they're going to strive for balance, so they're going to move around like this, and eventually they're going to try to curve out, and eventually they're going to make the curved C. Okay, 2 singularities in a one-dimensional line. Same thing with a D. Okay, D is this in a circle. 2 C's create a D because eventually one's going to flip around, the other one's going to start to straighten up, and then there's your D from 2 C's. And your M, when you create 2 D's, and one flips around, I think they're going to be attracted, and eventually they're going to make your M, okay? Because creation strives for balance. Now, I have lots of stuff, okay, guys? Like lots of paper, because I do everything on paper. I do nothing on computer. I'm going to go through my notes, okay? Like, I'm not going to get into 4D space right away. I'm not going to get into Fibonacci. I'm not going to get into Enoch and how 300... Like, look, guys. Number of cells per quadrant is 91. 4 quadrants, 4 seasons. 91 times 4, 364. Look at that. 300. Okay? Because this right here, 69 is your torus. Okay? This is the torus. Okay? I don't know how to properly draw a torus, guys. It's like a donut. Okay? This is your magnetism. This is the source of all the magnetism for all this light. But if you count all the cells that are colored here, including this one, okay, and these squares, I haven't finished the Fibonacci, okay? You can see that these are all 1s. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? And then this is the 3rd column of Fibonacci, which we all know and love, okay? 8, 13, 21, this is what you know. And these are things that I've decoded. I've decoded the 4th column of Fibonacci, but we're not there yet. And this is Revelation 16, there's your trapped 144,000, and in a world where up is down, 233, and if this is your 0 axis, okay? I think that everything's reversed, and there's your 322, okay? There's your skull and bones, okay? Now, just a taste, okay? So if this is the Earth, the 91 cells here are the Earth, well, that's your moon, that's Mercury, that's Venus, that's your sun, that's Mars. These are the universes, okay? I got these wrong because I had to think in terms of backwards, okay? I have a presentation I'm probably going to do next about Genesis 1. But look at that, guys. Ever see this before? Okay, the tree of life, doth, you know? I created that from what I call the table of creation, or Fibonacci. Okay, we'll get there. I'm gonna do that probably next. Okay, it's a little advanced, but I just wanted everyone to understand dimensions of unity and what I mean when I say dimensions of unity. Okay, and how it's your Roman numerals, because everything is light. This is all depictions of light, guys, from singularities creating lines on a 2-dimensional plane. And remember, God and man are reversed. So my right hand would be the left hand of God, and then the right hand of God, okay? Because God and man are reversed, okay? So that's just what I have to say about Roman numerals. Thank you, and cheers. Hope you enjoyed the video.